Good morning. It is Friday morning once again. Time for another episode of Fridays with Frank. I'm Scott Cullen, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report. It is so nice to see everyone here this morning. And before I bring out Frank, don't forget, do the usual, like, subscribe, comment, and send Frank your questions. Frank, how you doing this morning, and what's on your mind?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of tired, I must confess. And what I'm tired from, this month of January has been one hell of a schedule. Uh, January 6th to 10th, I was in Puerto Vallarta, is that what they say? Puerto Vallarta, for the Impact Networking 25th anniversary celebration. On balance, I thought an excellent meeting. I've never seen an environment where the people, the salespeople, the service people, the administrative people, are so harmonious and really there for each other and together. Now, how could I draw this conclusion? Well, first of all, I was not given any seat assignment for this. They didn't have an area for press. I was the only press there. And I just sat down. It was about 7 young men, and I asked them what they all did, and they were basically all salesmen from one location, and they were there together. And as we were going through this whole program, I continued to ask them questions. What does this mean? How does this feel? What is this all about? And never once did I hear a negative comment. I don't think they knew who the hell I was. So it didn't make any difference what they said to me. At least that's my opinion. They never referenced anything. But the sense was it was so interesting what they do. The first time I've ever seen it. Typical meeting like that, you give out your awards to your big time producers. And there was that, the big announcement about promoting or transitioning the leadership. Frank is now chairman of the board, and they have a gentleman who is now CEO of a young man, 37 years old. Any rate, and three lead positions were changed. But then they did something, and it was just about at the end of the program. They say, I forgot what they referred to it. Basically, it was a time to do shoutouts. And I thought that was so interesting. And they announced that you can come to I had mics all over the floor. People would go up to the mic. I want to give a shout out, or I want to give, a call out. They introduced it several different ways to so and so. The place erupted, totally erupted. And it was very genuine. I mean, where do you see that? I mean, it's not that they have everybody working in one location, nor in one part of the business. But they just cheered like hell for every shout out that was given. I thought that was fantastic. And again, I watched the people, the young men at the table I was sitting at. There was nothing phony about it. They were very happy. In some cases, especially where they knew the person. Because I kept saying, you know these people? No, but we heard they did a great job. We've heard about them in the business. That's not usual. That is not usual. But a great tip of the cap to Frank and Dan Meyer. It's a credit that they built that kind of spirit there, that togetherness. And that's the people who will take the trouble to read the article I wrote. We'll see that this is what it was all about. Now, what does this mean for the future for impact networking? Well, it's very interesting to me that what Frank Cucco hit upon was profitability, increase and profitability. Frank announced that last year, $205 million. But it was a very small growth. It was like a 5 or 6% growth. And Frank was admittedly, I was disappointed in that. Thought they could and should do much better. And he also made the slight reference or an aside reference about the profitability, although he wasn't complaining about it. And I think that was the essence of the meeting. And everybody that got up, particularly the new leadership group, they're very bullish in terms of the organization. There was nothing phony about it. And I just came away with the feeling that for whatever they've done there, they've really taught their people that working together produces great results. And $205 million for an independent dealer is a pretty special place to be. Most of the people that are better than them in that class are private equity companies. I think there's only one other dealer, if I remember correctly from the survey, Scott, that was more than Impact Networking. And I know Frank a long time, and he has no problems throwing out these numbers. He said, we're going to be at $500 million. Now, that was very interesting to me because the prior year at the POA meeting, Doug Patassi said there were somewhere around 420-some million, 430 million. We're going to be at $500 million. So they both had the idea, but 430 to 500 million and 205 to 500 million is quite a leap. But knowing Frank, that doesn't determine, and that's what they're going for. And I thought what they also did was very special because the meeting itself was really only 2 days in terms of focus on business. And after that, go have a good time. I mean, that is really very special that Frank did that for all his people. And I tell you, I don't think they left many people at home. So it wasn't that they just took the handful of winners, so to speak, and brought them there. Again, I've known Frank a long time. He has his share of critics, like we all do. And I have to say is, let's look at the results and then say he did it right or he did it wrong or whatever. Right now, they're moving in the right direction, and we certainly wish him well and thank him immensely for inviting me there. And he did ask me to make some comments, and I will share this one thing with you, what I said in my speech. I talked about the future in the sense that from production print, you will eventually see textile printing. That's what I referenced in my article that I believe that's been published yet. The one, yes, okay, where I referred to Kyocera because you have Konica Minolta, you have Ricoh, you have Epson. Those 3 companies today have textile printing capabilities and product lines. It's not all of a sudden, oh, let's get into this business. KM has been in it for 10 years. They bought a company 10 years ago. And I'm not going to say any more than that because I would like to devote one of our Fridays with Frank with textile printing in the future. Anyway, Scott, that's kind of my take on the impact